Hi everybody, Alex here from Expert4x. Welcome to today's webinar on how to get the very best out of any Expert Forex EA. Now, I see we've got quite a few people in the room. So I think I'm going to start out by having a bit of a survey and asking you to let me know how I or Expert Forex can help you get the very best out of any Expert Forex EA. So if you could have spend a minute or two and just write any input you might have about how we can help you get the best out of any EAs that you own. So I'm going to give you a minute. I'll just take a break and leave you for a minute to do that, because it's going to be very much based on what your input is where this particular webinar goes. Okay, we've had some feedback, and not much, I must say, and one of my concerns when I started arranging these webinars is whether to do them as videos. In other words, don't have a webinar at all, just present your content that you want to present as in video format and send it out to the clients, or to have webinars. And the reason why I went for webinars was for interaction from clients to get feedback and discussion going. Now, if that doesn't happen, I think I will go back to just doing videos again and not the webinars. So just in general, I'd like to get some feedback whether you prefer me doing videos and then publishing them, or whether you prefer this in the interaction of webinars. Very important, because I have to plan for next year, January, and I must say the amount of interaction that I've been getting from the and questions sometimes is extremely low. I get the impression that people just listen to the video, to the webinar, don't participate in it, and also they just wait for the recording of the webinars, and that's not what it's all about. But yeah, if I could get feedback on that, that would be quite handy. Thank you. Okay, so the general feeling is that webinars are pretty are better than the videos, because of the fact that you can ask questions and interact and that type of thing. Now, there's a comment, webinars are a bit long-winded. Now, Graham, I know that you're a highly experienced trader, but please, you need to empathize. There are people in these webinars who are new to Forex trading, so I do have to give a little bit more detail than I normally would. All right, okay, let's address some of the questions that have come in. Now, the one thing that you must understand is that normally when you buy an EA in the Forex market, you buy the EA. The supply of the EA might give you start off settings, but that is it. So I generally feel that Expert Forex goes out of its way to try and help traders achieve a lot more out of the EAs in terms of providing settings, providing lots of training on optimization and that kind of thing. But you must realize that our obligation really stops when you've bought the EA. You know, you've bought it. It's a Forex tool. It's up to you to use that tool to its best advantage. It's not you pay a certain amount for the EA. It's not up to us to continuously service or continuously train you to use that EA on a continuous basis. So, and that's the way I see it. But I am considering a service where I will continuously hold your hand through the EA management process, and we'll come back to that in a little bit later. So let's have a look at some of the questions that have come in, and there's quite a lot here, so I'll better open it up. Maybe what I'll do is I'll actually put the questions on the screen. Now, I don't normally do this, but let's put the questions on the screen and see what. All right, so the first question is what to use to decide what EA settings are wrong, or the market has changed and you need to or optimize the EA. So that's a general EA management question that's come in there, and in this particular video, in this particular webinar, obviously I can't do a full training session, but we need to identify these points. So basically what you're looking for is training in terms of optimization, firstly, because you need to know which settings are wrong. Optimization tells you which settings are wrong, and it also tells you which settings are right. And you also need some training in terms of how to re-optimize the EA. All right, so thanks for that feedback. I can't answer that straight away, but what you'll see later on might answer quite a bit of your question there. Also, we did do a webinar earlier this week showing you a process of how to manage the EA, and I'll repeat a lot of that information later on. That might help you. Thanks, Chris, for that one. Always provide video always provide. Now you see, Graham, this is something that you might not benefit from by saying, here's a question: always provide a video tutorial to explain in detail how to set an EA up. It is important for beginners in Forex. So in other words, what we take as normal, you buy the EA from EA Factory. EA Factory gives you the instructions, gives you really a detailed user manual to set the EA up, and they do. And it could be a case that you're ignoring the user manual. EA Factory is the most professional organization that I've found, that they provide excessive information and excessive support to their clients, and when I say excessive, beyond well above average, and all of that is actually covered in the user manual, how to set the EA up, and you can follow it through. But what you're actually asking for is a video. All right, so I've made a note here that we need to do a video taking you through a purchase of one of our EAs, and then showing you how to install it. One of the problems is that when we sell EAs, people are so excited to buy the EA, they never read the user manual, they never read the welcoming letter that we provide, they never read anything. And then what we do is, what we end up with is a absolute mountain of questions that are all covered in those documents, but nobody's read them. So anyway, thanks for that feedback. I'll definitely do a video on getting an EA going. In other words, after you've purchased that letter that you get from EA Factory, how you then download it, how you open the user manual, all those kind of things. And I have done a video a bit on that earlier this week. All right, so we're going through the questions. So we need optimization and ongoing management. Although I've actually done quite a bit on that, I need to organize it so you can find these things a lot better. All right, so let's have a look. With understanding the settings, who's playing around, help readings. So for me, it's a total understanding of the whole EA. Okay, Peter, thanks for that comment. In the course, and maybe I'll just pull that course up if I can find it very quickly. I'll just go offline a bit, and or I'll do it online. automated. It's a bit of a long-winded way of getting it, but there is another way that I could have got it. But all right, so if you go to our automated MT4 indicators course, there is a course there, Expert4x Trading testing, and it is quite a good course because it says understanding the indicator, understanding the settings. So what you are talking about there, your question is understanding how the settings work and understanding the indicator itself. And we do try and put, again, a lot of work into the user manual to explain. Each setting is described in detail in the user manuals. And I do suggest that if you do buy an EA, that you actually work through the settings in quite a lot of detail. You'll also find that, and I'm just going to take a random EA here, you'll find that our movement in the last couple of years has been very much towards building training into the marketing page. So in other words, this one doesn't have it. I think it's caught up in the videos. Let me just see if I can find that one. Maybe that one's got it. That one had all the settings in the videos. Just see, yeah, that again, I've done it all in video format in this one. Basically, a lot of the training, the actual training for the videos for the EAs is given to you before you buy it. In fact, you go through the videos and you'll see a lot of information there. So a lot of people again buy the EA and don't go back to the marketing page. Okay, so let's, but I've made a note of that. All right. Okay, so that's about all that's come through as actual questions. Let's just see if there's anything else. There's a time constraint. Yeah. Audio lost. All right. When you start getting problems with the audio, please let me know, because there's not much I can do, but unfortunately my internet connection is sometimes not that reliable, or not, the bandwidth varies. All right. How many months do we have to consider now I have okay, how many months do we have to consider the backtest open data, and how many months for tick data? Ravi, again, when you ask how many months, that is a question you should answer. In other words, how many months would make you feel confident about your backtesting and the results that you're getting? Sometimes for me, a week is enough. If I'm trading a scalping EA, I can test it in a week and I say, I'm happy with this EA, it's a scalping EA. Sometimes I have to test it 2 years back if it's a swing trading EA. So there's no answer to these questions. You have to use your common sense and logic and say, how much testing must I personally do to convince myself that the results that I'm getting are robust enough for me to trade live? Does that make sense? So I'm not going to give you rules that say at least 6 months, whatever, because I know sometimes I do a week and that's enough for me. So you must just use your common sense and trade enough to give yourself. Now, the other thing, the most common problem is that people test too long back, because what's happened 2 years ago is actually irrelevant. People don't realize that. They think the market's been the same for 2 years ago. It's not the same. The volatility has dropped tremendously, so that's why you've got to trade. I would never suggest testing more than a year. Yeah, but most people are lazy and they don't read. All right, so I'm going to just go into the content of the webinar so that we don't get too stuck up in the questions. And thanks for that feedback. That's very important. It gives me a lot. I'm going to hang on to these questions and address them in future webinars and in the way we present information to the clients. So here we go. What I've created is I've created a new welcoming page. And have I lost it? Yes, I have. All right, I'll have to go and find it again. I've created a new welcoming page. When you buy your EA, and I'll give you this link right now so that you can, there it is. Let me see if I can actually give it to you in the webinar. I don't think I can. I think I can do it in the chat. I'll just see. I'll try and work it out, but why I can't do this. I'm not too familiar with this webinar, but there is the actual link. But essentially, what I want to do is I want to make sure that after you've purchased your EA, that you have the best chance of succeeding doing that. So here's the download information that was asked earlier. All you have to really do is follow the EA factory guidelines, use the user manual, and your downloads will actually go pretty smoothly. Then I've got a bit of a discussion, and I'm not going to go into this into too much detail because in general we find clients have got excessive expectations when they buy EAs. They really do have excessive. So I have a little bit of a chat here about realistic expectations, taking full responsibility for your trading decisions, bearing in mind that, now here's an important one, bear in mind that any defaults or set files supplied are merely guides. They will not work on your own broker system, even if you're using Telenex, because the times are different. There's a whole lot of different things. So they are merely guides. So very important to understand that set files and default settings don't work. And that comes to the other question that was asked. You need knowledge on how to optimize, calibrate, and do those kind of things to manage your EA, and never trade an EA live until you've thoroughly tested it. Now, I can't tell you how many emails we get from competent traders who take an EA and plug it into their live account without back testing, demo trading, or optimizing them at all. Now that's absolutely the worst thing you could possibly do. And then they write an email and say, why didn't your EA is terrible EA, it doesn't work, and we're telling you not to do that. We're saying back test it for at least 2 weeks to a month, demo or no, back test it for as long as you need to make yourself feel comfortable with it. Demo trade it. You have to demo trade it. Even if you back tested an EA, you have to demo trade it. Things will happen on your demo account that don't come out in testing, and optimize you need those skills. Now I'll show you a bit more about that. You need to have skills to establish the best settings, and you still need trading knowledge. You need a bit of trading knowledge to trade because where you need trading knowledge is not so much trading, but more position sizing, calculating risk. You need to know how much risk you're exposing yourself to when you're using an EA. That's very important, and how to control your risk using position sizing and things like that. Now here's the big topic of the day. I hope you take benefit from what you're going to be seeing right now. So So the resources available to you and relating to your specific EA is, I say, please reread the marketing page and watch all the videos on that marketing page. It's absolutely essential that you do that. Not only the marketing page, but also the menu on the marketing page. Click on all the items in that menu. There's training items, there's setting items, there's forum items, there's everything. We try and give you as much as we can, but you have to read it. So please read these things before you start trading. There are also links in the EA Factory product page. And please use these links. Many products have, and many products also have playlists. So in this letter, you'll be able to get links to a lot of these things. One of the most neglected items that I come across is that people don't read the product page on EA Factory. I'm just going to log into EA Factory. Now I'm logging in as a client, so let's say I bought the Divergence Trader. So I click on Divergence Trader, and here is the product information. Now, firstly, there's the user guide, there's the product download, so that you can download both and read them and look through them. So that's the basic info. But what people don't read is this product information, and this is getting started material. There's a whole training. All the training goes into this particular part. Please make sure your training needs, the trading plans, all that. Use this link, click on it. So there's a lot of information that people ignore on the product page. So I'm not I think you're starting to get the idea. So when you buy your EA, read as much about it that we make available. We also have the forums. Many of the products have individual forums. Go to the forum, ask questions on the forum. If fellow traders don't answer the question, I will answer the question. So the forum is a really big plus. The live webinars, we've discussed them. I see there's quite positive feedback, so we'll keep them going for next year. But if we go to the forum, even I have to log in. So if you go to the webinar section, you'll see all the planned webinars, the past webinars, and then discussion. Now, I've had no discussion on the webinar. I've had no feedback, nothing. So that's why I was going to stop the webinars for next year, because there's just nothing coming through. But past webinars have all the recordings of the webinar. So if you click there are all the past webinars, and you can click and go and look at the recordings, and the future webinars obviously are there. So and they then decrease and become the past ones. So the forum is pretty important, or the webinars. All right, then we've got the YouTube channel. There are over 500 videos on the YouTube channels. And there are lots of playlists. I just wonder what's going to happen if I click here. No, that's fine. And they are the playlists. I mean, there's 68 videos on double in a day. There's cryptocurrency. There's 29 videos on EA testing optimization. So you can see there's a huge amount of resources available to you on YouTube. So go through them and please use those resources. We find that most of the clients that don't succeed are the ones that just plug the EA and trade, and they don't go through all these resources that we're using. Okay, so then we move on and we say EA trading and management. That was one of the questions that came out. We have a free EA testing and optimization course. click on that. I've shown you that one already. We've got a free calibration course, quite a detailed one. It's got a user, it's got a lot of instruction in it and that type of thing. Please click on that. We've also got a lot of EA management videos. Please click on that. And I'll be adding a lot of more stuff and making it easier to find. That's the thing that I find, is that we've got a lot of stuff, but people can't find it. And I'm trying to use this page as a method of finding things. So using good data to test here's a few videos on that and sources of information. So trying to help you as much as we can with instruction and assistance. Then general Forex trading assistance. There's a beginner course, the best on the internet that you can access. There's the channel trading. There's a simple and easy series. I see a lot of people aren't using the simple and easy series. What I have done with that simple and easy, I have put all my own knowledge into that series. It's not as simple as it sounds, but once you know all this stuff, it is simple. So, but I have put all my Forex trading knowledge into that series. Don't take it lightly. All the most important things like money management are never read. People think, oh, that's so unsexy, I don't want anything to do with that. I know how to manage my money. That's where accounts get blown up, especially with EAs. People do not know how to manage risk and position size their trades using EA. So you can see there's quite a lot of resources here. And then now the bonus for today is we are now making a couple of our EAs available to all our clients free, completely free of charge. And here the support and resistance heat map, you can click on there to have a look at it. If you now go into your EA factory website, these will be available free of charge to you. The $1 Million Candle Trader, that will be free of charge on your website. The No Worries Hedging EA, again, click on that link and you'll find a lot of information about the No Worries EA. Basically, that's the one that will either hedge a transaction when you go into a dangerous situation or close it. You just tell it what to do and the EA will do that. And then the channel surfer, which is very much part of my trading methodology, you can download from there. So you can see we try to throw as much resource and as much help as we can to you to succeed with your EA trading. Broker advice, unfortunately, we get asked for a lot of broker advice, and I don't give broker advice if I have an experienced broker myself. Unfortunately, I'm pretty limited to Telenex. Telenex treats me pretty well, and I support them, so I cannot give much broker advice other than a Telenex. And then you've got your normal support, which is EA Factory, but a lot of people don't realize how good that support is in terms of a really detailed user manual. There's a lot of videos. Now, here's a lot of videos about typical EA issues, things like error messages, how to manage set files. There's a whole lot. Please click on that, and that also addresses the how to load your EA and all those. There's a lot of support videos down there. All right, obviously you get the 50% discounts as an existing client. And again, I repeat, please read the product page of your for more information. And then obviously you can contact EA Expert Forex for more information. So we are really, and then there's all our websites and our products. If you click on there, you can see all our products, and here are all our websites that we have. So you can see this particular page is extremely important to you. I recommend, as it says, bookmark this page, because what's going to happen, I'm going to change this page and update it as much as possible with resources that I think can help you trade your EA in a much better way. All right, so I've run through this. I'm going to go through the questions and come back to the questions, but you'll see that a lot of your questions have been answered with some of the resources. Certainly here, a lot of resources happening here. One of the services that we are considering and I'm not going to go into too much detail, is, and if I can find it here, there's so many screens going, is this EA management service. Now, what you should be doing, here's what you should be doing, Expert Advisor EA Management. What you should be doing is you should be backtesting, optimizing, analyzing, and creating settings. Now, I must just warn you, your optimized settings are not the best settings you can use for a particular EA, because they are the ones that are the most likely to not repeat. So you've got to build up a skill base over there. Then you've got to forward trade it for a month. So you get your settings, you've back traded them, you then forward trade them. In other words, you trade them on a demo account for a month. After that, you determine the best settings and currencies and timeframes to trade, and then you add them to your live account. But you continue trading those, continue testing that, because that is where re-optimization. I don't ever re-optimize my EA. I go by my trading results that I'm experiencing. So you have two sets of trading. You have your demo group, which I normally have about 16 EAs running on the demo group, and then I have my live, which I normally have about 3 settings running on the live. So you then add and subtract currencies from this information that you're gaining from your experimental trading, demo trading there, and you make changes to your live portfolio according to the experiences that you have, and then you go back to step 2. So you continuously, after a month or so, you go back and you determine which were the best settings, and then you eliminate currencies, you eliminate time frames, eliminate settings. So that one of the services we're looking at is doing that for you. So in other words, we will determine 16 of the best settings that you can have for a particular EA. We will then test it for a month, see what results we get, tell you which ones are, like in this case, set 2 was really good in this particular case, then tell you which settings are good, which settings were bad, and also give you analysis of why these were bad and why these were good and all that kind of thing. You can then, and then after a month, what we normally do is we change some of the settings. Like that's a bad setting, so we change it, create another set file, another set file, another set file. So we go on and on like that, and we keep the good ones and we eliminate the bad ones, and it's a continuous profit improvement process that goes on and on and on and on until month 3 now. And but what happens is that your total pips keep going up because you're replacing bad settings with good settings, and you can even add currencies. Like for instance, there we added a few currencies, and you can and you can see that the settings sort of increase all the time. So this is a process that the normal trader cannot do, because it takes a lot of trading experience, a lot of testing experience, and as I say, what we're using here are not only the optimized settings, it's the best settings, the most robust settings. They're not going to give you necessarily the best results, but the safest results from a income risk reward basis. So this is one of the services that we're looking at introducing to help our clients do better in terms of EA management. All right, so look, that's been a mouthful. I haven't looked at any questions since I've given that mouthful. So I hope what you've seen so far is encouraging you to the point that you realize that we are quite serious about your success, and we're trying to help you to succeed as best you can. But we do need your help. You do need to watch the videos. You do need to read the stuff that we produce. It's not going to help. You can't help yourself. Although the service that we're suggesting will most probably short circuit all of that, and in fact a lot of the EAs will become set and forget EAs, in that if we're doing this work for you, you won't need to develop the skills. It's always good to have your own skills, but if you don't have the time to develop those skills, then we will help you with that. All right, so let's have a look at some of the questions, and I'm going to be open with it. I'm going to show you who and who's asked what and that type of thing. All right, so we've got some good feedback here. Very interested in the service. The service will be great, different for each person. Wouldn't it be different depending on their broker? Not really. The testing will be done on demo accounts. So and we will give you the GT Greenwich Mean Time offset, and you can then just adjust it to your particular broker. You will have to make changes if your broker is a commission only, or your account only allows lot sizes of a certain size, and you'll have to take that. So look, nothing in Forex is mechanical and fully automatable. You always have to use your common sense, logic, and just plain common sense with everything you do. So even with the service, you'll be the guidance you get will be really good, because it's going to be. Now, I'm not saying the service is going to happen. It depends on a lot of factors, resources, and a whole lot of things. But the thing is, even if you're getting results from the service, you still have to say, oh, hang on, my broker is very special. I need to do this change and that change and that. And you might still even have to do some back trading and 1 month trading of your own. So nothing is a perfect answer. What about so-called curve fitting? Curve fitting is not curve fitting at all. Curve fitting is when testers do back trading and they go for the very best results that you can get. That's curve fitting. Now, and that's exactly what I said. The optimized results that you get from curve fitting are not the ones you should be using. They are the ones that are the most unlikely to repeat. So curve fitting is not what we're talking about here. If you've done proper back trading, you will know that you go for the most robust settings, and there's many ways of determining the most robust. The most robust, in a nutshell, are the ones where you can get them wrong by quite a lot of margin and still be profitable. Those are the most robust ones. The optimized ones, if you get them slightly wrong, you'll make a loss because they curve fitted. So thanks for that question. ULR. Sorry, please don't. I actually don't know what a ULR is. Lot size for. Yeah. Please be trying to be quite clear. Very hard to negotiate from my. That doesn't make sense to me either, Julia. Please just be a little bit more clearer with your question. That ULR is the address bar. Those are all in the forum. Now, you know, a lot of people don't use their common sense. You know, when you're looking for something on the forum, go and search for it. Let's say I'm searching for channel trading. Just search for it. You know, I'm not going to give you every single ULR or whatever. There you are. It's built into the system. Just search. In fact, if you want to find our stuff, search on Google. Sometimes I actually have to find my own stuff on Google. So just don't. We're happy to help you a lot, but we do not help when you don't use your common sense and logic. We don't spoon feed. We say the things are on the forum, go and find them. So you go to search and you find them, or you go to Google and you find them. But don't send us support things saying, I can't find this, I can't find that. How do I get information? Google it. I mean, that's how I get my info. How do you think I get my information? You know, I just Google YouTube and Google, and I find out a whole lot of stuff. So again, Gillian, that's a very nice way to find things, is to just go to the forum. Now, the forum you should know, and I have got links in there and all that. I have to find the forum first. Okay, I've just given you this thing here, which has all the links to everything that you need. This welcome. So I'm still trying to work out how I can get this to you. Oh yeah, what I'll do is I'll get it to you. Okay, here we are. And I'll I think now everybody will have that link. Now that link should give you links to everything that you need. That's the theory. And I'm not saying at first that will take you to the forum. Once you get to the forum, you've got to actually, you know, a lot of people get to the forum, and we've done quite a lot of work on organizing the forum, webinars, and sort of. People they want to go directly to the post. That surely, if you're looking for webinars, you firstly read through all the headings. You say, oh, I'm looking for a webinar. Then you click on webinars and you say, oh, I'm looking for a planned webinar. You just follow the logical sequence. You know, I mean, this week, a guy wanted to register for a webinar. We sent him this link. He took a photo of this link. He said, I can't see where to register. Now, I'm sorry, I know it's not clear, but if you're trying to register for a planned webinar, you click on planned webinar. Then he clicked on that, and he says, oh, I still can't see where to register. Now, I'm sorry, that kind of thing drives me absolutely mad. And thank goodness I've got Mary and EA Factory, who are a little bit more controlled in support areas. But when I find a client who cannot use logic and common sense, I really battle. And then these guys want to try and trade Forex, which is the most complicated thing in the world, which is subjective. You've got to make a decision with the most amazing uncertainty that exists, and then these guys can't get the things that are very simple, right? So yeah, okay, you can see I'm getting a bit, sorry, I got a bit excited about that. I really get pissed off by these things. No, look, understand, these are learned people. They're not idiots. They are experienced, and some of them I know quite well. That's what makes me. All right. Yes, that's good. You've bookmarked it. Thank you. That's very good. Again, let me just get this back again. And there's a lot of questions. So. All right. I was wondering if you could please hold a webinar and start optimizing certain. Now, thanks. That's a very good question. And if you look at where we are right now, and you look at planned webinars, you'll see that the very next webinar is getting the very best settings for the time of day hedged EA. So I'm going to do exactly that there. So thanks for that question. And just and this has been advertised twice or 3 times, so be aware of you know, I know a lot of people don't read our emails that carefully, but just, you know, be aware of what's happening into the future and all that kind of thing. But that's exactly what we are doing. So we're going to be taking each EA and doing that with it and showing people. Now, anybody not only owners of the time of day can go to this, because it's a process. How do you get the best settings? This is how you get it. And we're going to be doing that with each one. Very hard to negotiate from my factory. I actually don't know what that means, negotiate. All right, let's keep being interested in service, so-called curve fitting, excellent pay, bringing. All right, so now this page, when you buy a product, you'll automatically be directed to this page. This page will also, it isn't at the moment, but it'll also be on the product information on the EA website. There, getting started, it will be, the link to this page will be put into all the products. So it's a pretty new thing. I haven't published it because I wanted some feedback on from today before we did that. All right, so I'm losing track of. You know, again, here's a question. Oh, sorry, you can't see the question. Some new, how to get familiar with it. Now, you see, this is actually not our duty. Our duty is not to educate you on the MT4 platform. We assume that if you're buying an EA, that you know the MT4 platform and that type of thing. So, we're happy to help this, but it doesn't become nice when it's an expectation. We need instructions, suppliers with this, and quite honestly, we get these people that buy an EA and think they own us, and we need to run their lives for them, and that's certainly not the case. But, and I'm not saying that's the case with you, Steve, but again, if you just take some time and go through our, I might not find it now, we have a MT4 course on YouTube. Just go through it. I can't spot it offhand. MT4, yeah, there. There's 11 videos on the MT4 trading platform. So hopefully. The thing is, if you click on a link that says playlist, you then read what's in that link. You know, so, oh, I don't know there were videos on the platform. I don't know there were, you know. So unfortunately, you can take a horse to water, but you can't make a drink. It has to. We need the follow-up from our clients. We need the follow-up for them to click on the link, read the content that there is, and that type of thing. We can't take you by the nose and push your nose into it, you know, that kind of thing. All right, calibration, as you can see, there is some help on calibration, and some of the products have actually their own calibration courses. So that's the difference between calibration and optimization. Calibration is all you're doing when you're calibrating an EA is you're saying, does my EA run on my broker platform? That's all. You're basically taking the EA and running it on the Forex tester, just run it once, not optimizing it, running it. And if it runs on that, then you've calibrated it. You'll be surprised how many EAs don't calibrate. How many money is it to save to bring a higher lot than? Oh no, sorry, that's a little bit complicated question. No stop hedge. I don't know, and it's not a clear question. Are you going to address? Yes. The best settings. Are you going to address how to get the best settings in this video? No. I've actually just shown you how to get the best settings. The best settings are your responsibility. and you need to train yourself on optimization, calibration, and all those kind of good stuff, and using the right data and all that. So getting the best settings is your responsibility. You need to train yourself to do that. It's not our responsibility. You see, there's a legal problem. If we give you set files and they fail, you can say, I used this guy's settings and he caused me to lose $100,000. So we go out of our way to say you cannot use set files. You've got to optimize, calibrate, and do all those things yourself. All right. If I were to use Telenex, no, you won't get the same results. An EA, strangely enough, is dependent. The most critical part of an EA is its start date. You can take the same EA, started on the Monday, and you can take the same EA, another EA, the same EA but started on the Wednesday, and they will have totally different results. It's just a funny quirk of trading. So that is why you can take somebody's set file and plug it in. You're not going to get the same results. The starting date of an EA is the most critical factor. And what is the best starting date? Nobody knows. So and a lot of people don't realize that. They don't realize that the starting date of an EA is the most critical factor. If you start if you're trading a trending EA and you start when the market's going sideways, you're going to lose your account. If you have a trending EA and you start when the market's trending, you are going to be so happy you're going to write reviews all over the internet. It's your start date. That's it. That's the most important. Not the set files, not the settings you optimized, not all the hard work you've done. In the end, it's a flip of a coin whether the market is going to do what your EA wants it best performs in. And that's the sad fact. And I'm being quite honest. Oh, God. Terms like kernel, all right, now kernel 32 Jillian, that is where EA Factory absolutely is the best person to go to, because there's your support net. They will help you. If you've got a kernel 32 missing, they will find it for you. They are excellent at that. So there's nothing that should hold you back here. We've got most of the bases covered. I find it difficult to reproduce the results I see you are getting. Exactly, I've just explained it to you that you might be using a different start date, a different end date. There's all kinds of reasons why you will never get the results that I get. It's very unlikely. We run one set of we run one set of runs on a MT4 platform, exactly the same settings, exactly the same start dates, end date. Then I run another run on another MT4 platform, identical broker, everything is identical, and I get different results. So it's not an easy game, this. You must realize that it's not as mechanical and automated as people think it is. There is an element of luck in Forex trading that is a lot bigger than what you think it is. But there is luck, but you cannot, doesn't mean you can, you must take chances. You must try and eliminate your reliance on luck as much as you can. All right, so sorry, I've gone on a bit. It's been an hour, and I hope I've answered or made you aware of a lot of resources that are available to you to allow you to make the best of your Expert4x EA. But you have to admit, I mean, look, I don't know too much about our competitors. The problem is we have lots of EAs to support. A lot of the competitors only have one or whatever, but you can, you have to admit that we do provide you with much more to succeed than the average EA vendor out there. And we want our clients to succeed, all right, so all right, I just want to see if I've missed anything. How do you stop an EA from running? All right, look, those are a bit of technical problems, but again, have you a lot of things? I don't know if I can actually show you very quickly, but it's quite. Sorry, wrong one. RSA trend line trader. We'll just move it on to there. You'll say okay. All right. So let's say that's your running EA. All you do is you go right click, expert advisors, remove. I'll do that right now. You see? So remove. As simple as that. That's how you stop it from running. All right. Okay, right. So it's been a bit of a chatty webinar, but those are the ones that I like. A few unusual questions that's come through and a few really good ones, so thank you very much for that. But I would say even now, you know, if you're interested in any of these freebies, go to EA Factory and download them. There's a lot of resources available to you. Bookmark this one. It is going to change as we load more free stuff, as we load more courses that will help you. We'll put it on. We're making a big effort to organize all the massive. I mean, we've got 10 years of resources that we built up over these 10 years of trade to organize them so that you can find them easy. So we are paying attention to that. I know, I mean, sometimes I can't find our own stuff. So we are paying attention to that, and I'm going to put a lot of those things in these in this particular page. All right, so for me, Alex Employee, cheerio. A recording of the webinar will be available probably in the next couple of hours. Bye.